Hey, welcome to another episode of AWS Cloud Bytes. It has been a while since I posted any news update. I was taking a break, relaxing, and enjoying summer with my family. Now I am back. This show will have regular updates, so stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell icon. This is an AWS News Update episode. Let's cover today's top news headlines. Amazon EC2 Resource Identifiers and tags for security group rules. Amazon VPC now supports resource identifiers and tags for security group rules. You can now manage VPC security group rules using the assigned rule IDs and resource tags. A security group rule ID is a unique identifier for a security group rule. When you add a rule to a security group, these identifiers are created and added to security group rules automatically. Security group IDs are unique in an AWS region. With the introduction of security group rule IDs, every security group rule is automatically assigned a unique resource ID. Before this release, basically, you have to reference and manage security group rules based on the rule attributes such as ports, protocols, IP CIDRs, which can become difficult to incorporate into automation tooling. With the introduction of security group rule ID, every security group is automatically assigned a unique ID, right? And using those unique ID, you can reference security group rules in your automation tooling by their unique identifiers. Thus, it is simplifying, revoking, or updating any kind of security group at scale. In addition to this, you can specify tags for security group rules and manage them in a more structured manner with rule-specific metadata. Security group rule IDs and tags for the security group rules are available in AWS Management Console, available also through AWS APIs and AWS CLI. There's no charge using security group IDs or tags for security group rules. These enhancements are available in all commercial AWS regions. You can look at the picture where you can see inbound rule, then you have security group rule ID. This information is similar to what we used to have earlier. No change on this side. You can see the IDs now. And this will be a great help in any kind of automation script. Moving on to the next news headline. Lambda supports Amazon MQ for RabbitMQ as an event source. AWS Lambda now supports Amazon MQ and RabbitMQ as an event source, allowing customers to quickly and easily build applications that are triggered from messages in their RabbitMQ queues. Amazon MQ is a managed message broker service for Apache ActiveMQ and RabbitMQ that makes it easy to set up and operate message brokers in the cloud. Customers can build applications quickly and easily with Lambda functions that are invoked based on messages posted to the Amazon MQ message brokers without needing to worry about provisioning or managing servers. Customers can read from Amazon MQ or RabbitMQ brokers without needing to create or manage a consumer application that monitors Amazon MQ queues for updates. The Lambda function is invoked when the number of messages reaches a specific batch size or the payload exceeds 6 MB. Lambda manages connectivity to the Amazon MQ message broker on the customer's behalf, including managing authentication, authorization, scaling, monitoring, and handling errors. Moving on to the next news headline. The next news headline is coming from AppConfig. AppConfig compares two app configuration versions. AWS AppConfig makes it easy for AWS customers to quickly roll out application configurations across applications hosted on Amazon EC2 instances, containers, AWS Lambda, mobile apps, IoT devices, and on-premises servers in a validated, controlled, and monitored way. AWS customers can now compare any two application configuration versions side by side within AWS AppConfig, a feature of AWS Systems Manager. This new functionality highlights the difference between the changed configuration values in two versions and helps developers and DevOps professionals to understand how their configuration data has changed over time. This adds additional safety features when deploying the intended configuration values to mitigate the risk of any application outages. When deploying a new configuration change using AWS AppConfig, developers and DevOps professionals update and add configuration values within the configuration file and save those changes to a new version of the configuration file. In order to mitigate any risk of application outages after deployment, it is a best practice to manually review the differences with the previous version. With this launch, customers who store configuration data as AWS AppConfig hosted configurations or retrieve their existing configuration from Amazon S3 and Systems Manager documents can easily compare any two versions of a configuration within the management console. Moving on to the next news headlines. The next news headline is coming from Athena. Athena adds parameterized queries, adds reusability and security. So Amazon Athena users can now leverage the reusability, simplification, and security benefits of parameterized queries. Analysts can save time and eliminate errors by converting queries that have frequently modified criteria such as date filters or aggregation period into a parameterized query that serves multiple use cases. Application developers can use them to safeguard against SQL injection risks and simplify application integrations that generate SQL based on a user's selection. Getting started with parameterized queries is simple for all users. Start by identifying a query that would benefit from parameterization. An example is a query for retail sales metrics, where filters for product category, region, and date can vary based on user selection from one execution to another execution. Instead of manually modifying the logic in a SQL code each time you run the query, you can use variables from product category, region, and date, whose values are provided when executing the query. Parameterized query is available in select, CTAS, and insert into queries through Athena Console API and SQL clients using Athena's ODBC or JDBC drivers. Moving on to the next news headlines. EKS managed node groups now support parallel node upgrades. So Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service managed node groups now support upgrading multiple nodes in parallel. EKS managed groups help make it easy to run the highly available and secure Kubernetes cluster by automating the process of provisioning and lifecycle management of worker nodes, thus eliminating the need to select or configure multiple AWS services to add and update nodes in a cluster. During the upgrade process, managed node groups will bring up a new node and cordon and drain old nodes to minimize disruptions to the running application. Previously, this upgrade process happened one node at a time, which provided the least possible amount of disruption to applications, but took longer to complete with larger node groups. Now the amount of node that can be upgraded at a time is configurable, and clusters with applications that are more fault tolerant can benefit from reduced time to complete node upgrade. EKS managed node group parallel upgrades can be performed in any existing or new created node group. Moving on to the next news headline. AWS Amplify launches new full stack CI/CD capabilities. AWS Amplify now supports conditional backend builds, automatic build time export, AWS export JS generation, and a simpler console workflow to reuse backend across multiple front-end branches. AWS Amplify's continuous deployment service offers front-end developers the fastest way to build and deploy full-stack apps, both the front-end and the back-end on every code commit. Full-stack deployments on Amplify are now smarter, only updating the back-end if changes are detected in the committed Amplify folder. The Amplify console has an improved workflow for configuring full-stack deployments. Simply point your branch to a backend environment from any Amplify app, and Amplify will automatically build and deploy your frontend and backend in a single workflow. Additionally, if you only want to build your frontend, you are no longer required to check in your AWS export file. Amplify automatically generates a file at the build time for the selected backend environment. Moving on to the next news headline. Next news headline is coming from Glue. Glue DataBrew support for backslash delimiter in .csv datasets. So AWS Glue DataBrew is a visual data preparation tool that enables user to clean and normalize data without writing any code. Using DataBrew help reduce the time it takes to prepare data for analytics and machine learning by up to 80% compared to custom data preparation. You can choose from over 250 ready-made transformation to automate preparation tasks such as filtering anomalies, converting data to standard formats, and correcting invalid values. AWS Glue DataBrew adds support for creating datasets and .csv files that have backslash or escape delimiters. AWS Glue DataBrew helps you visually clean and normalize data with over 250 different ready-made transformations. This is the end of the show. Thank you for watching. If you liked the content, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for future updates. This is your host Bhavesh Kumar signing off. Thank you.